All right. So today's topic is continuity from the previous one, which is public speaking. And today we go to for public speaking two, right? The continuation with the last one. But before that, before we start, because last time um, we had discussed about the speech communication process, and we did some exercise on how to speak fluently and how to speak with, um, I can say, with more character and also colors, how you put colors into your speech. So we did some demonstration last week, and some of you did try and put some efforts to try to use the text that I've given in the slides, and try to give your own personal speech based on that. So this week we will continue on another speaking process. Last week I think we stopped at medium, I guess. So this week we'll continue with the interference, okay, part of the communication process. But we will refresh on that later. Before we start, all right, so let me show you some of the things that you can get from the internet. Okay, try to use the internet to get a lot of tips. Okay, and not just to obtain or to find something that is formal, but also you can have a very casual, informal tips, not just for public speaking, for other topic as well. For example, for note taking, for summarizing, for paraphrasing, for examples. The internet gave you a lot of abundance of resources to refer to. So I think there will be um, no excuse that maybe some of you were said that you are unable to do this, do that, because the internet provides a lot of resources to help you with your study. Okay, so one of the things that I found today is public speaking tips, or public speaking rubric tips. Okay, so I give you two examples here. How to look super confident, during your public speaking. You can see in the template at your left hand side, at my left hand side, this template provide seventh rules that you can follow to be a confidence to be a confident speaker. Okay, for example, number one, rule number one, know your audience. Rule number two, prepare an attention grabber. So what is an attention grabber? I think some of you might familiar with the term. So attention grabber is a topic sentence to attract the audience. Okay. So that's why you need to find a catchy, more fancy, I think catchy, fancy, and um, topic that is, or some topic sentence or main context of your speech that contain something that could attract the audience. This is the same situation with a song. You will not listen to a song that don't have a very good message in it. Okay? Why people listen to the song, not another song? Because that song um, uh, has an attention grabber. So attention grabber is attention grabber. So to grab people's attention. So find something, be more creative and innovative with your speech. Okay, don't stick or stuck with similar content. Don't stuck with similar theme. Find more creative way to create a speech. Okay, talk about something beyond your comfort zone. Yeah, I will show you two examples very soon. Yeah, two different speech, but why people love to listen to the speech, why people are hooked to their seat to listen to the speech. So we will go through after this. And rule number three, decide a structure, keep it simple, beginning. So you need to have a structure in your speech. You cannot just blurt everything out. It depends on this. You need to have a cue card. Okay, you have a cue card, and you need to have a point. I prefer to make my speech in a point form, and then you will naturally elaborate from the points, but you need to have a structure. Where's the introduction, where's the content, where's the punchline, where to stop, where's the pause, um, and where's the, for example, where's the jokes that you want to insert or you want to embed in your speech, where the examples, or where to start asking the audience. So you need to have a proper structure, you need to provide a proper timeline. That is how you plan and organize your speech. Okay, so be calm, consider resources, be calm. That is very important. Okay, it is a normal trait for people to be nervous in front of the audience, especially a bigger audience. Okay, can you imagine when when you need to speak in front of one, maybe 2,000 audience? It is nerve-wracking and it's daunting. But again, every time you step on the stage in front of the microphone, take like at least 1 minute or 2 minutes, 1 minute or 2 minutes to exhale and inhale and exhale, and try to look around first. Take like 1 minute or 2 minutes to look around and start talking. Then you will get the energy. You need to absorb the energy to remain calm. Okay. And another tips from the corporates, yeah, on the right hand side of mine, okay, 8 public speaking techniques for presentations. Have an impactful intro and conclusion. Test and rehearse your presentation. Be yourself. Focus on a central theme and topic. Have a rhythm. What is have a rhythm? Okay, you need a rhythm not just when you sing a song or when you perform something related to arts, but you need to have a rhythm every time you speak. Okay, the speed, the pitch, the intonation, where to use the strong voice, where to use a softer tone of the voice. That is the have a rhythm. You cannot use the same tone every time you speak. Okay, you cannot say that I'm hungry. It's not really you cannot convince people when you say that. You say that I am hungry. So that is how you say that you are, or you say that I need the documents by today. You cannot say I need the document by today. So it's two different, I can say two different worlds. All right. So people will try to make your voice stronger at the right time and softer your voice at the right time. Okay. Not all content need to be in a stronger tone. Okay. And not all content need to be in the softer tone. So you need to find balance. So balance need to find by uh, structuring your rhythm. Okay, where to start? Normally, when you start something strong with something critical topic, start with a stronger tone. But if you start talking, for example, talking about love, you're talking about parenthood, you're talking about religious. Okay, try to make a very soft. Try to use a softer tone, but with a very um, um, uh, firm, uh, I can say firm intonation. You can be soft, but when you deliver the ideas, try to be a bit firm or strict with the ideas. Okay, so this is some of the examples that you can use and you can follow to make sure that you are not just using presentation or public speaking um, in your class presentation or in the university. It is beyond that. Okay, when you are working now, one day you need to use it to defend yourself, to defend your department. When you become a boss, you need to have very strong body language. You need to strong language, verbal language, to make sure that people receive, people understand, and people respect you as who you are. Okay, so I will give you some example. I have two type of speech here. It's um, a very serious and motivational speech by Denzel Washington, and one quite funny, acknowledging people and giving recognition to people by Steve Carell. This is Steve Carell, this is Denzel Washington. So this speech by Denzel Washington was given when he received, I don't remember, one of the award a few years ago. but his speech really break the internet. So the content, the wit, and the the encouragement that he tried to put in his speech really makes people um, remember the speech as one of the best. Okay, so let's see the speech first. You can listen to the music. Do you mind? Can you listen?
No, they have no sound.
No,
Yeah.
no.
No sound at all.
All right. What about this one?
Uh, it's
Yes.
okay. Yeah, we heard it.
Okay.
I'm particularly proud and happy about the young filmmakers, actors, singers, writers, producers that are coming up behind my generation. In particular, Barry Jenkins. Young people understand this young man made 10, 15, 20 short films before he got the opportunity to make life. So never give up. Without commitment, you'll never start. But more importantly, without consistency, you'll never finish. It's not easy. If it was easy, there'd be no Kerry Washington. If it was easy, there'd be no Taraji Henson, Pete Henson. If it were easy, there'd be no Octavia Spencer. But not only that, if it were easy, there'd be no Viola Davis. If it were easy, there'd be no Michael T. Williamson, no Stephen McKinley Henderson, no Russell Hornsby. If it were easy, there'd be no Denzel Washington. So keep working, keep striving, never give up, fall down 7 times, get up 8. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. Ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. So keep moving, keep growing, keep learning. See you at work.
How to get super fast Wi-Fi anywhere, anytime, in 6 seconds. Internet providers don't want you to know about this cheap hack. Steve Coletti and Nick Lynch are two computer engineers. They found a way to boost Wi-Fi signals instantly. They both worked for a large internet provider. That's where they discovered a dirty secret. Internet providers are deliberately slowing down your connection by analyzing your internet data usage and throttling internet speed and bandwidth during peak hours. All internet providers are doing this to trick people into an expensive internet package.
All right. So what do you get from the speech? Anyone? What do you think? What's your opinion about the speech? Anyone from the group? From the class?
He used a good intonation, and he always stressing the words.
Okay, stressing the words. Okay. What about the content of the speech?
He mentioned the audience name to give example.
Okay, that's good. So how you see how Denzel, how the speaker, Mr. Denzel Washington, try to make people listen to his speech by giving great examples, by pointing the audiences, which is all his um, peers and people who respect him very much as one of the prominent actor in Hollywood, and also how he give motivation. There's a lot of rhythm in it, the body language, the smile, the laugh, the laughter, and also how he managed to put the composure very well in front of the stage, looking by millions of audience, not just in the auditorium but also at home, watching at home. So that is how you should give. It is a natural flow of himself. So again, to be a good public speaker, you need to have experience. For sure, Denzel Washington have a lot of experience giving speech, and also acting also helps him to give a good speech, because memorizing script um, teach him, I think, to be more confident about what will come out from his mouth. So that is one way of very encouraging how to give a very respectful speech with depth and with dignity. But I will show you another type of speech which is funnier, but with the same weight of what Denzel Washington gave. Okay, so let me show you first.
Steve Martin is a national treasure.
Ladies and gentlemen, Steve.
Good evening. It is difficult for me to express what a personal thrill it is to pay tribute to Martin Scorsese. Few people in the history of cinema have created such an enduring legacy. His work transcends the craft of filmmaking. Steve Martin is a national treasure. I first saw him perform in 1978. He was little more than a blurry white dot several thousand yards away. But I can tell you what I did see. I saw a man with an arrow through his head. I witnessed the phenomenon of happy feet. I saw a balloon animal depiction of venereal disease. His act was that of an idiot savant, minus the savant. Much of what he did that night could be easily dismissed as abject silliness, pointless clowning, incomprehensible non sequitur. And frankly, that's exactly what I think it was. Because even though I do believe Steve Martin to be a national treasure, in the loosest sense of the term, I also believe that he has deceived us. He has led us to believe that he is both smart and dumb, awkward yet refined, illiterate and yet not illiterate. Perhaps I have chosen an inappropriate time for this. And if I have, well, excuse me. The fact of the matter is that he is even smarter than he is letting on. He is toying with us. Look at him. Look at his face. He's laughing at you. mocks us for his own personal pleasure. And for this, I think we owe him our thanks. I am in awe of Steve Martin. I admire his career. I respect him more than anyone, with the possible exception of Martin Scorsese. It's truly the greatest honor of my life to pay tribute to you. Our world is richer because you are a part of it.
All right. So another good speech to listen to. So what do you think about the speech? What's the difference from the first one and the second one? Anyone?
The first one, his speech are more strange, but the second one is more like
Spontaneous. Okay. Yeah. And anyone else? Which one do you prefer? The first one or the second one?
If we talk about academic, of course the first one. But if like in the Oscar or something like that, the second one.
All right. So it depends, okay? In academic as well, you can give a speech like the second one. It depends on how you want the audience to be triggered, okay? So to make sure, well, I prefer to have both in my life because it depends on the audience, depends on, and again, it depends on the mood itself, the mood of the speaker. But when you talk about economic forum, when you talk about politics, you cannot do the second speech. You can do it, but if your audience is okay, you go on. But again, it depends on the audience. What's the theme of the event? What's the theme of the program? Okay, you can make jokes, but a very intellectual joke. And Steve Martin, the one that been given by Steve Carell to Steve Martin, he was trying to give a joke, but a very hidden and intelligent jokes, not a random, or I can say an imbecile jokes, okay, without no points. All his joke, if you listen carefully, contain a lot of humor, but also contain a lot of content reflecting the person that he wanted to give give the respect to. So this is part of the examples that you can use to help you at least to be a very good public speaker. You by knowing your audience, by knowing how to give speech, not just a speech by reading the script in front of the restroom with the mic on, just reading the script. No, you need to relax. You need to be more relaxed and treat the speech is like you giving something that you love to people. It's like you are talking something. For example, you love this place, you love the food so much, you love nasi lemak so much, and you tell the people that you must go to this restaurant. It serves a very good nasi lemak with a very good teh tarik. The same thing that you should treat your speech, even though you're talking about a speech about economy, you're talking a speech about law and policy, but treat the speech the same thing as you talk about nasi lemak that you love from warung Kak Bedah, for example. So the same thing, but with more, with different tones. Okay? It depends on the context and also the audience. All right, so right, so we proceed. Okay, it's 10:30 already. So again, speech communication process. Okay, SCP. Okay, remember SCP. Remember all these 7 steps or 7 processes. So last time we stopped at channel. Okay, we have speaker, which is the person that speak. Okay, the speaker, the main people. No, there will be no communication process or speech communication process if there's be no speaker. And the listener, the audience, okay, messages, the contents or the substance that you want to deliver, and channel, the medium. Okay, what channel? it depends, maybe in the program, for media, for television, for radio, and for maybe for award shows or something. Okay, so that's the channel, that's the medium where you want to, or the platform where you want to deliver your speech. Okay, so that's why channel is very important, because channel represent different audience. Okay, for example, you have what some of you got Netflix, some of you got Astro. They have like thousands of channels in Astros. So different channels represent different audience. Okay, so some people love to watch I think Korean movie or Korean series. So that's the target audience. So if you want to deliver or publicize something in Korean channel, so you need to know the audience first. Then you can sell the product. Same with speech. Okay, you cannot simply sell something that is not related to the audience. For example, you know the audience are amongst children, but for the for example, but what's the point? You are selling I don't know, maybe selling give me one example. Maybe selling vitamins, or selling um what I can say, yeah, selling acne,
Cosmetic.
yes, cosmetics, or selling something like skincare for acne. So if you try to put the advertisement in children's channel, for example, Cartoon Network or Disney Channel, you're not able to sell that things very well, because that's the wrong target audience. So sell it in a more mature TV channel. So same thing with speech. You need to know the channel very well to sell your speech to the right audience, so the audience could grab what you are trying to deliver. Okay, so we continue with feedback. All right. What is feedback? Okay, the response that the listeners give the speaker. One way in which public speaking differs from casual conversation is that the public speaker does most of all of the taking, but public speaking is still interactive. Without an audience to hear and provide feedback, public speaking serves little purpose. Skillful speakers are audience-centered. They depend on the nods, facial expressions, and murmurs of the audience to adjust their rate of speaking, volume, vocabulary type, and amount of supporting materials and other variables to communicate the message. So feedback is generally what you will receive from the audience, what the audience felt after the speech being given. Okay, so it helps the speaker to improve for the next session, to improve the techniques, maybe the methods, maybe, and also maybe the context of the speech as well. Okay, so because without audience, okay, and without feedbacks, public speaking serve little purpose. You can see at the third point. So serve a little purpose, meaning that it is meaningless. For example, the speech being given by Denzel Washington and receive a good reviews, a great reviews from a lot of people. That's why it being posted again in the YouTube, and people keep referring to his speech, maybe to help with his or her life, right? So remember, words can change people's life. Okay, so give a very good speech that can change people's life and ideas. And once people say to you, "Oh, you gave a very good feedback," or people put in a form, "This speaker is impeccable," the message. So the feedback could be given in any forms. Okay, verbally, spontaneously, or written forms. Okay, same with teaching. Okay, all of you got an exit survey that you need to evaluate the lecturer's performance. Okay, the exit survey. So that's how the lecturers or teachers receive feedbacks from the students to help them to improve more in the future. So the same thing with speaker, right? Next is interference. So interference is actually in Malay, in bahasa, gangguan, okay, or disturbance,
or yeah, interference or disturbance. So there's a lot of things that related to interference. Noise, first is noise. Okay. Second is anything that blocks or hinder the accurate communication of the message. It could be technical. It could be maybe the microphone did not works very well. The audio is horrible at the or maybe the speaker got sick during the day of his speech. Maybe the speaker caught in sour or in sore throats that could not delete that block or makes the speaker's voice harsh, right? So that's anything that blocks or hinder the accurate communication of the messages. And there are three types of interference. Okay, first thing is external, second one is internal, and the third one is speaker generated interference. Okay, we will go one by one. Okay, noise is actually something that is related to the surroundings. Okay, the noise is the analogy. Okay, noise can be in the form of that received from the technical issues, or received from the audience, or maybe the noise that came from the speaker itself. Okay, noise is actually represents something related to um, uh, disturbance. Okay, disturbance mean maybe that lead you not to be focused during your public speaking. Okay, so far so good, everyone.
Yes, Doctor.
Okay. Okay. The first thing is external interference. What is external?
Luaran lah.
Yeah, it's luaran or outside. Okay, something not came from inside. Okay, what are some of the types of external interference? The first one is arises outside the listener. And the second one, if your public speaking class is frequently interrupted by the roar of cars passing back and forth of the street, it may be difficult to concentrate on what your instructors is saying. Example, noisy air conditioner, babies crying, incessant coughing. So this came not just from the listener, okay, but also outside the building. For example, you're giving a speech. Okay, I have a very sensitive ears myself. I have a very sensitive ears, and I hate every time when I try to speak to people. There's a loud cars or loud motorcycle passing by. It will change my mood totally. I will not able to focus after that. So that is one example of external interference. For example, for yourself, maybe you try to do a presentation, okay, online presentation due to COVID-19, and suddenly your brothers, your small or your baby brothers crying at the back, and then and you will for sure after that you will not be able to maintain your composure or your what we call this the pattern of the speech will be they will be distracted. Okay, so that is external interference, quite clear here. What is an internal interference? This came from within the listener and within the speaker itself, himself or herself. Comes from within the listener. An audience member worrying about an upcoming exam is unlikely to remember much of what the speaker say. Okay, this is internal audience issues actually came from the audience. Okay, daydreaming is a common example. So for example, the speakers give a very good topic in front of you, but maybe most of the audience are tired or too full after taking a full broad of lunch. Okay, for example, you eat nasi minyak during your lunchtime, and you expect people to listen to you well after that? For sure not. Okay, so that is one of the internal interference. Okay, daydreaming meaning that in bahasa we call that menggelamun lah. Okay, menggelamun or berangan. Okay, that is daydreaming. Okay, and the last one is speaker generated interference. Okay, come from the speaker. Sorry, the first one and the external and internal came from outside. Okay, came from outside the listener. The first one, external, came from outside the listener. Okay, so meaning that maybe the technical, maybe the sound of the cars outside the building, that is external. But internal interference came within the listener. The interference meaning that the listener did not focus, the listener is daydreaming, or the listener is worrying to other things rather than the speech that been given in front of him. Okay, and the speaker, the third one is speaker generated interference, which came from the speaker himself. Okay, came from the speaker. Perhaps the speaker uses words that are unfamiliar to the audience. Another example is if the speaker has a bad cold that may coat the speaker's memory or subdue his or her delivery. So this came from the speakers. For example, the speakers got flu, the speakers caught in a bad diarrhea, or the speakers had a fight with the wife back home. Okay, so it will actually affect the speaker's ability to speak properly. Okay, so that's why make sure before you give a speech, a day before or 2 days before, try to clear your mind. Okay, try to not to think too much or worrying too much about things that do not happen yet. Okay, and try to at least go outside, take a fresh air. Okay, breathe the fresh air to make sure that the day that your turn to give a speech, you manage to give a speech full of calmness but with confidence. Okay, so that's why try to make yourself at least 2 days before your speaking session or your program. All right, try at least to clear your mind and try to at least not to distract yourself with something that can destroy or interfere your speech. Okay, and the last one in the process is situation. The environment or situation in which the speech occurs, meaning that the context. No speech is an island. No speech occurs in a vacuum. Rather, each speech is blend of circumstances. So you need to make sure what's the situation is all about. Okay. So the given one, the third point, meaning that no speech is an island, no speech occurs in a vacuum. So there's no such thing happen in that situation. Okay, so normally speech being given to a certain surroundings and environment. Okay, for example, United Nations. Okay, all the leaders of the world need to go there to give speech and to give keynote speech, for example. So the context of the situation involve more serious, more worldwide and global context. So you need to know what type of tone, what type of rhythm that you want to use in the speech. But if the speech is involve school or involves kindergarten kids, so you should know where to place or where to how to adapt with that kind of situation. So meaning that you need to understand your situation, you need to understand the surroundings very well, so you can pinpoint, you can write down your speech based on the situation. So that's why normally the organizers will send you the list of audience, they send you the venue of the place. The venue also give impact to your place. For example, you've been given chance to give a speech at Royal Albert Hall in London. For sure, you will not just say something like what I love to eat, but you will go you will give a speech beyond that, because you know the place um, got the prestige, the place got a reputation. So make sure your speech is at par with the reputation of the place, and also the audience might be the same par as the place. So in conclusion, okay, these are the 7 speech communication process. Okay, as you can remember, what is speaker? Number 1 is speaker, the person who initiates a speech transaction. Number 2, message. Make sure your non-verbal message does not distract from your verbal message. Okay. Number 3, channel, the most direct of all. For listener, different frame of reference, must be audience-centered. Again, must be audience-centered. You cannot be self-centered. You must be audience-centered. Everything need to given back to the audience. Okay. Audience could be passionate. Okay. Feel passionate about your speech. Feedback, be alert to the reaction, meaning reaction from the listener. Interference, hold your listener's attention despite the various kind of interference. Anything happen, try to convince your audience, and try to distract your audience, or you try to at least hold your audience to make sure they're not distracted by the noises around them. Okay, so that is the role of the speaker. And the last one is situation. Certain occasion requires certain kinds of speech that I told you. So different situation. Okay, the speech at the wedding cannot be the same the speech at the United Nations. Okay, the speech given at award shows cannot be same as speech given in a maybe in a community program. Okay, so you need to differentiate the priority. Okay, the end. All right, so any question from the class?
Doctor,
Yeah.
about final exam,
Okay.
what's the type of the questions? Like objective or subjective or essay?
It will be multiple choice question. I think 30 MCQ and 1 long essay. Yeah. So yeah, be ready about that. And the question not provided by me, is provided by Dr. Nosohaili. So yeah, but so far we will have passages. Yeah, you need to refer to the passage, and there will be multiple choice question for each passages. And at the end of the paper, you have 1 passage about long essay. I think you need to review the essay. I not remember, but yeah, that's the pattern of the questions. Yeah, so it will be 40%, right? 40 or 50%. I'm not remember. Yes, but so far that's the format of the exam. You have the schedule already, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So if no more question, let's take a class picture. So this is your last class for this semester. Okay, we managed to come to this end, right? And I hope everyone at least understand a few things based on this class. Helps you. Even myself, I'm still learning and trying to improve myself in terms of English communication. So I hope any weaknesses or any turbulence and any any issues related to this class, when I'm in charge for the past 7 weeks or 8 weeks, it is my apology. All right. So and I wish you a very good luck for your examination. Okay, try to at least understand, try to read all the notes, because the quiz will involve not the content but the skills that required from this course. All right, so if you don't have further questions, so we take a picture. Okay, everyone. 1, 2. Anyone else? One. Okay, 1, 2, 3. All right. So thank you thank you again for your cooperation and commitment for the class. And please let me know if you need anything else. Do WhatsApp me. Do Telegram me. No WhatsApp. Do Telegram me, or if something urgent, you can call me or email me if you want to share something with me. So again, good luck for your exams, and please do not hesitate to communicate with me anytime soon. All right. So thank you so much, everyone. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you, Doctor.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.